Hi, good afternoon. So this is Kip, and I am doing a video about uh, the significant bills that take effect today, July 1st, here in the state of Georgia. And so pay very close attention because many of these bills you've heard about, but I guarantee you there will be many more that you haven't heard about, not in the newspaper or anything, but doesn't matter. It's part of the law as of midnight this morning. All right, 12:01, they took effect. All right, so we're going to start in the area of agriculture. House Bill 358 defines what counts as a military installation. This definition relates to the ban on certain foreign persons or entities from buying or using farmland or land within a 10-mile radius of a military base, military installation, or military airport. Senate Bill 144, what it does is it makes it so that manufacturers of pesticides can't be held liable for not warning consumers of health risks beyond those required by the EPA. An exception to this rule is if EPA finds that a manufacturer knowingly withheld, misrepresented, or destroyed health risk information. In the area of animals, there are three bills that are significant that take effect today. House Bill 331, you can't transfer a dog, cat, or domestic rabbit at any roadside, public right-of-way, parkway, median, public or commercial parking lot, or sidewalk, park, recreation area, fair, flea market, or similar outdoor location. Those who violate this law will be fined. The intent of the law is to curb sales linked to puppy mills. So I'm sure we've seen, these people setting up in Walmart parking lots, with the puppies in the boxes and stuff. No more. No more. We thought it was illegal, but it's clear that it is now. House Bill 614 allows local governments to ban the use of fireworks in proximity to facilities housing horses. This may include special event permits to allow the use of fireworks. Senate Bill 105 allows the practice of veterinary telemedicine, teletriage, and teleadvice. It provides the requirements for licensing vets to issue this telemedicine. All right, in the area of crime and the justice system, we have several bills that I'm going to discuss. House Bill 176. If a judge makes a decision in a criminal case but doesn't decide on every charge, it can still be appealed if the rest of the charges are put on hold, also known as dead docketed. The law allows a person to ask the court to give them more time to file for a new trial or appeal in certain circumstances. You can withdraw a guilty plea that resulted in a criminal conviction within 30 days of the conviction or within the term of court when the plea was taken. House Bill 582, the Georgia Survivor Justice Act, allows abuse to be considered in the sentencing of domestic violence survivors who committed crimes while under the coercion of their partners. It allows survivors to present police reports, medical records, and testimony about their abuse, which could lead to significant reductions in sentencing for those whose actions were a direct result of their trauma. For those already in prison, this legislation, House Bill 582, would allow for resentencing if they can prove that domestic violence played a role in their crime. House Bill 199 requires state and local governments to restrict certain personally identifiable information from public disclosure. It creates a procedure for state and federal judges and their spouses to request the restriction of any personally identifiable information from the public. House Bill 85 establishes the Superior Court Judicial Compensation Reform Act. It adjusts the salary structure for Superior Court and statewide judges, who were previously paid both a state salary and optional county subsidies. The law caps local supplements paid to Superior Court judges and authorizes the General Assembly to set annual salaries. No judge's salary will be cut by the measure. Senate Bill 110 defines blatant disregard and independent activity and redefines neglect in the juvenile code. It creates an exception for certain reckless conduct crimes for legal custodians, allowing children to participate in some independent activities. Senate Bill 79 enacts the Fentanyl Eradication and Removal Act, which adjusts the amounts of fentanyl necessary to be considered illegal trafficking. It adjusts the mandatory minimum sentencing for trafficking of controlled substances. Senate Bill 132 addresses the long wait times for pretrial mental health evaluations. It requires a hearing before a court orders an evaluation of the mental competency of an accused person to stand trial. Senate Bill 132 provides for the release of reports of mental competency evaluations and a shorter time frame in which a mental competency evaluation must happen when the accused is only charged with one or more nonviolent misdemeanor offenses. Senate Bill 244 provides for the award of reasonable attorney's fees to defendants in criminal cases when the prosecuting attorney is disqualified for misconduct and the case is dismissed. Enacts the Wrongful Conviction and Incarceration Compensation Act to establish procedures for those people who claim and receive compensation from the state. House Bill 161 expands cyber-enabled offense investigations for which the GBI officials can issue subpoenas for the production of electronic communication records, defines assassination, and establishes the crime of domestic terrorism. So in the area of aviation, there's one bill that is now law, and that's House Bill 58. It bans the operation of unmanned aircrafts within 400 feet or above ticketed entertainment events. Exceptions include if a person with legal authority over the event gives permission. There are 4 bills related to money that are now law in the state of Georgia. The first one, House Bill 136, parents of children age 5 or under could claim a $250 state income tax credit, which also expands the state income tax credit for child care expenses. House Bill 111, an already planned state income tax cut, will be accelerated, reducing the 5.39% rate to a flat 5.19%. Senate Bill 55 creates the Dignity and Pay Act, which bans employers from paying individuals with disabilities less than a federal minimum wage. And House Bill 136 provides a tax credit for qualified child care and dependent care expenses of up to 50%, of the amount of credit provided for by the IRS. It also provides a $250 tax credit for each qualifying child of the taxpayer. In the area of education, there are several bills that are now law. Senate Bill 1 establishes the Riley-Gaines Act of 2025, requiring local school systems, public schools, and participating private schools to designate all teams as male, female, or co-ed. It requires post-secondary institutions to designate all teams as male or female. Bans male from participating in competitions or teams designated as female and vice versa, unless a corresponding team is not offered. Requires that multiple occupancy restrooms, changing areas, and sleeping quarters be designated by gender. House Bill 235 allows public school teachers and employees and post-secondary employees to take a leave of absence for bone marrow or organ donations. House Bill 340, the Distraction-Free Education Act, bans public school students from kindergarten to 8th grade from using cell phones during the school day. Senate Bill 193 establishes an adult workforce high school diploma program within TCSG to award diplomas to individuals between the ages of 21 and 40. Senate Bill 213 makes it a violation of the Fair Business Practices Act of 1975 for any person to provide scholastic cheating services to any student or examinee. The act should not limit tutorial services or certain academic support services. House Bill 192, the Top State for Talent Act, helps students prepare for jobs that are in high demand in Georgia. The Department of Education will create school programs matching careers that need more workers in the state. It establishes the State Workforce Development Board. Students in dual enrollment can keep Hope grant money for certain job-related courses. Senate Bill 63 requires local schools that offer the PSAT, SAT, the PREACT, ACT, the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, or other advanced placement exams to also make the tests equally available to any home study student in the local school system. Senate Bill 123 revises school attendance laws so that no student is expelled by a public school due solely to absenteeism. Requires local boards of education to adopt policies and intervention plans for chronically absent students. Students taking tests and physical exams for military services will be counted as present for any time away. House Bill 150 enacts the Combating Threats from Foreign Countries of Concern Act of 2025. It requires the university system to submit semi-annual reports to the governor and committees on higher education regarding funds received from foreign countries and individuals of concern. Two bills are now law involving the military. House Bill 454 creates a Vince Dooley Battlefield Trust Fund and Program. It sets up a matching grant program to encourage both federal and private investment in the state's battlefields. House Bill 208, it provides for up to 2 free license plates for disabled veterans and for specialty license plates honoring the Shepherd Center, the Georgia Veterans Service Foundation, Southern University alumni, Delta Sigma Theta sorority, Alabama State University, the State Parks and Historic Sites Division, the DNR, Department of Natural Resources, and the conservation of black bass populations. There are 5 bills in the area of health care that are now law. House Bill 428 confirms that nothing in Georgia law bans or prevents an individual from getting IVF, in vitro fertilization. Senate Bill 241 allows composting of human remains as an alternative to burial or cremation. It requires facilities to be licensed by the State Board of Funeral Services. HB 423 supports and codifies the Georgia Emergency Communication Authority transition to a next-gen 911 system. Senate Bill 58 creates the Georgia Transporting Life-Saving Organs Personnel Act, which allows the licensing and operation of emergency organ transport vehicles as ambulance services on public roads. Senate Bill 72 creates the Hope for Georgia Patients Act, expanding access to investigational, individualized treatments tailored around the patient's unique genetic makeup. Senate Bill 72 expands patient eligibility beyond terminal illnesses to include patients with life-threatening or severely debilitating conditions. Creates multiple layers of patient protection like informed consent requirements. One bill is now law in the area of family, and that's Senate Bill 100. It creates Andy's Law, allowing people who are adopted or who receive new birth certificate after adoption to get a copy of their original birth certificate. This copy can't be used for legal purposes. Now, if the adoptee is deceased, then a parent, sibling, or descendant may obtain a copy of this birth certificate. One bill is now law in the area of food, and that's House Bill 233. It makes the fourth Friday of November of each year National Sugarcane Syrup Day. It also makes Brunswick stew the official Georgia state stew, and cornbread the official state bread. It also bans companies owned by a foreign country of concern from submitting a bid or proposal for a contract with state agencies. In the area of housing, House Bill 399 requires landlords who own or operate single-family or duplex residential rental properties but aren't Georgia residents to employ at least one person in the state for receiving, coordinating, managing, and responding to landlord-related communications. That was sponsored by Mary Margaret Oliver, representative from Decatur. Good piece of legislation there. And in the other category, we have House Bill 296, requires a physical driver's license to be used as identification to a poll worker at a polling place. It requires a physical driver's license to be shown in the sale of a hunting, trapping, or fishing license when the sale isn't made over the phone or internet. Requires a physical driver's license to be shown for a lifetime sportsman's license. Requires police officers to accept a driver's license in an electronic format by the DDS when the officer has the equipment to verify. House Bill 303 enacts the original 33 Memorial Act. Very significant piece of legislation. And what this does, this will place a monument on the state building grounds for the 33 elected African-American legislators that's known as the original 33 who were elected to serve the Georgia General Assembly but expelled from serving in September of 1868. It provides for the postponement of such monument placement due to safety concerns. House Bill 113 bans the state or a state agency from purchasing concerned goods from a foreign company or countries of concern. Senate Bill 96. Now, this is a mouthful, so pay very close attention to this. It revises membership of the State Housing Trust Fund for the Homeless Commission. But this is what it also does. It abolishes the Environmental Advisory Council, It abolishes the Jekyll Island Citizen Resource Council, abolishes the Stakeholder Advisory Board, and transfers its functions to the Erosion and Sediment Control Overview Council, abolishes the Governor's Office of Children and Families, abolishes the Georgia Volunteer Fire Services Council, abolishes the Georgia Palliative Care and Quality of Life Advisory Council, transfers the Georgia Council on Lupus Education and Awareness from the Department of Community Health to the Department of Public Health, abolishes the Board of Homeland Security, abolishes the Employment First Georgia Council, and transfers its responsibilities to the Georgia Vocational Rehabilitation Agency, abolishes the Georgia State Games Commission, and abolishes the Lottery Retailer Advisory Board. That's it. So what I encourage you to do, I'll make sure to put the link on my page if you need the actual bills. I encourage you to go to the General Assembly website, which is legis.ga.gov. Hopefully you've written down the bills that are of interest to you. When you find them pulled up, you want to scroll down and find the bill that shows the version of the bill that passed both houses, and because it will give the date as well as the LC number, and that will be the it will also give you the date that the governor signed the bill as well. So govern yourself accordingly, and that's it for now. Take care.